Hi, and welcome to a special episode of Coco Disaster. I'm Chorpsoy.
And I'm Jordan.
And like I said last time, we ran out of time to talk about all of your guys' anime opinions and other general anime opinions we wanted to talk about. So we're getting to those now in this bonus Anime of the Year Awards show.
Yeah.
We have other things planned, but let's start out. Let's do something for you guys, the fans. We have 4 emails from various people.
That's a record amount.
Yeah, we don't usually get that many. And they're not all from QB, so it's even better. This first one comes in from Fractal Sandwich. Dear Coco Disaster, summer is in full swing here in Australia, and here a scorching hot take to match. Haruchika is my favorite anime of 2016. I have my reasons why, but you'll have to figure it out on your own, and if you can, I'll pick up the instrument I used to play and join your brass band. Yours, Fractal S. Andwich.
I don't play a brass instrument, I'm sorry.
No, he's gonna pick it up if we can figure it out.
Right, but he's gonna join our brass band.
Oh, well, I'll start a brass band.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll have to do, I guess.
You can play drums.
Yeah. Oh, I guess.
We gotta have something. But, we don't get to talk about every show we liked during the Anime of the Year stuff, but I do think Haruchika was a good show.
Yeah, me too.
I like its atmosphere a lot. I think its character dynamics are very good, and, even though the puzzles are in a lot of ways very hokey, it comes down to this very good, human element, emotionally.
Yeah. About
different characters and sort of regret that comes up within it.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was really cute.
Yeah, it's cute. Yeah, and I like the character designs. Mm-hmm. The eyes are still a little, iffy. I still can't quite figure that one out. I like that they're colorful, but something about them makes them really stand out in a weird way.
They look like the Kingdom Hearts logo. They all have, weird edges everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're very distinct, kind of in the way that, two-tone shading will do that.
Yeah. Oh, I was talking about the eyelashes.
Oh, the eyelashes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the eyelashes are nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I did like that show. I wish that I liked it enough to put it higher up on a list, but, not every show can be the best show of 2016.
Nope. I still haven't finished it, actually.
Oh, you should. I think it definitely gets better by the end.
Yeah, I tried picking it up again, but the last episode I watched, I don't know, I wasn't, feeling it. It was the first date minister episode.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know about that one. The payoff, I think, was cute, but I don't know. I was a little bored with that one.
Yeah, I think the payoff is usually the most important part of those episodes, because it's always or most of the time, it's very contrived.
Yeah.
What they go through, but I think they have good payoff for it.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end, they actually play a concert, and you get to hear some of it. It's amazing.
Oh, great.
It's not just, a really weird way to put a bunch of kids together in a single group.
Is it a good concert? Does Chica finally learn to play the flute good?
Yeah, Chica plays the flute good enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As far as guessing why, I believe Fractal Sandwich previously has talked about, because I've seen some of the stuff he talks about, is that he hasn't had time to watch anime, so I assume that's why it's his favorite. It's because there hasn't been more to watch.
It's the one anime he watched.
Hey, at least it was that, not a bad one.
Yeah, you could do a lot worse.
Yeah, for sure. Then we have another list from Onlurin.
Alright.
Friend of the show, who, in no particular order, gives their top 5 of www.working.
Okay.
Which I know you tried to watch at some point.
Yes.
You fell off it, right?
Yeah, pretty early on. The humor just wasn't as immediately catchy this time around as it was with the show's with the cast of the previous shows. Mm-hmm. I don't know, it just didn't do it for me this time around. The characters didn't lend themselves to consistently good humor the way they used to. Yeah. I
mean, maybe it's a slow burn sort of thing, if it got better later.
It could be. There were still some good jokes here and there, I think, but it wasn't as consistent as the old shows, I think. But I can still see other people enjoying it plenty.
Yeah, plus, you never know what kind of show's a slow burn, because we can't go back to all the ones we drop either, just on hearsay.
That's true.
Here's hoping it got better, because, this year needs more comedy.
Yeah.
Then we have on this list, Tanaka-kun is always listless, which you went whole hog on. That was your favorite light anime.
Yes.
So another comedy on there. Also, following in a lot of your preferences, we have 91 Days on here.
All right.
Which, we didn't put it in the standings, but yeah, we really liked 91 Days for doing something in a genre that anime doesn't touch on a lot.
Yeah. It was on my best prestige anime shortlist for a while, but eventually it got kicked out by something else.
Yeah, so, we definitely high regards. I think it achieves what it wanted to do very well.
Yeah.
Even if not all the individual beats hit.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a good structure to it.
Absolutely.
Then we have Erased, also showed up on our lists.
Yes.
So it's nice that not everyone has turned on Erased at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Because, even now I'm seeing opinions that are like, I can't believe people still pretend like Erased was really good when no one talked about it after it ended. And I think that's just one of those things where, like, people really put a lot of emphasis on endings and get soured a lot easier based on a bad one.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it's weird because everyone was talking about it for 10 episodes or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's weird seeing people turn on it so hard, especially at the end of the year, to be like, it's, no one, I think, said it was the most disappointing thing, but it was definitely like, people are talking about it as if it were a lesser show than everyone gave it credit for when it was airing.
Yeah. I can't agree with that.
Yeah.
Can't. Sorry, I enunciate bad.
It's okay. And then the last one is Yuri on Ice, that was a big crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
Lots of other people really loved it. It kind of took anime community by storm.
Even just like the areas outside of the anime community, like it was definitely one of the big general audience hit of 2016. Like either that or ReZero or maybe Mob Psycho, but like those three.
But it got, like, ice skaters into it. Like, you saw tons of ice skaters tweeting about people that looked like them or, things that were nods to people in the ice skating community and all kinds of stuff. And it was everywhere. You could not look, especially at, like, an anime community without seeing some huge talk about Yuri on Ice. It was massive. And that in itself is commendable in just how much it, like, opened these, barriers, I say. Not like this really there, but, like, so many people, even outside of anime, were watching it and, paying attention to it. That there's something to say about such a universal appeal.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That's gotta mean something, right?
Yeah.
It won Crunchyroll's Best Anime Award, didn't it?
It won a lot of Crunchyroll's Best Anime Awards.
Right, I know it won Best Animation, which I think is unjust. That's the only one I know for sure, but I think it also won just Best Anime? I'm not sure.
Yuri on Ice ended up winning Best Boy, Best Animation, Most Heartwarming Scene, Best Couple, Best Opening, and Best Ending, and I believe also Best Anime.
Jeez.
It swept it, and I think that's just the nature of doing something where it's a ballot.
Right.
Where you only have so many choices that can, reasonably be made. And also for being one of the more recent shows on there, definitely it, like, stuck in a lot of people's minds more so than if they have to go back and think about the other shows that they've seen,
Right.
Especially on sites that aren't this. Like, I'm surprised My Hero Academia ended up taking it for Hero of the Year.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. Because that's not a Crunchyroll thing, but I'm assuming people just were able to pick that up because that's the big shonen thing of this year.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Then we do have QB on here. QB did send in a list.
Okay.
Both of best and worst, and some extra metrics for us, so we can talk about those. So, for him, the best anime, we have Tonkatsu DJ Agataro.
Okay.
Which is a short series. We don't give a lot of props to short series, but that was a really good one this year.
Yeah.
For taking a really dumb premise and, like, really, like, owning it and kind of making it work that way. And also for being, like, super funky. Like the music is really like good because it's all these different types of like kind of club bangers. Like they do different styles and stuff to make it work out. And then it's like, oh, I'm gonna make this song even better by putting the sound of sizzling tonkatsu over it, and it'll give this real nice flavor to it.
That'll be the next air horn.
It's just like the ding of an oven going off. Then we have JoJo's Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable, which I'm surprised I didn't hear more about in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like in previous years, JoJo's was just, like, always kind of making it to top spaces and being really talked about. I don't know why Diamond Unbreakable isn't, because I feel like it's also one of those parts that people love a lot more than the others.
Yeah, and I didn't feel like enthusiasm really died down after Part 3, which is obviously the most popular part of JoJo's.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really feel like that affected how much JoJo's Part 4 was being talked about. So it is a little weird that it ended up being snubbed, if you will, for Anime Awards season.
Yeah, I don't think it was bad. I do like a lot of parts of it. I was just surprised at how little I ended up hearing about it at that point, and I don't know why that is.
Me neither. Maybe because it's been too long.
Maybe. It would only been like a year.
I mean, it's like been so long since it started, you know?
Oh, maybe like the luster of it has died off. I don't know. Then we have Space Patrol Luluco, which we talked about a little bit. It's a surprisingly good trigger thing that is also like a tribute.
Yeah.
To everything that that director has done, and it does it in a really nice way.
Well, everything the studio has done, because Space Patrol, Little Witch Academia was on there too.
Oh, you're right. Most of the other stuff was him though. Like, what was it? The Mach Speed one, I think, is him.
Yes.
Kill la Kill was.
Yeah, I don't know about Inferno Cop.
That seems very him.
Yeah, I suppose so.
So I'd be willing to believe it, but yeah, okay. Then we have Flip Flappers, which we talked about.
Yes.
QB is our magical girl expert.
Consultant.
On our unofficial consultant on our staff. Our fake staff list.
QB is on location at Magical Girls HQ.
Right. Telling us that Flip Flappers is good. I do agree. I think at some point he had Flip Flappers lower before the finale, and the finale just hit in a way that popped it up to number 2. But I do think Flip Flappers ends well despite sort of a shaky second half.
Okay.
So yeah, I can agree with that.
Cool.
And then number 1 was technically last year, but the way that Precure does it, it's like it goes from spring to spring. So since it ended in 2016, we're counting it's Go Princess Precure.
Okay.
And has a small write-up that just says, Go Princess Precure is an outstanding season that stands above a year of innovative anime by transcending convention and reinventing the concept of princesses to bring out the best in the magical girl genre while improving on it at the same time. I hear from people who watch Precure, which I have a number of friends who do, that the Princess Precure was one of the best ones, certainly of the modern era where they got actually good.
All right.
From what I understand.
That is what I hear, yeah.
And I've seen some good screenshots and stuff. The 3D is well done. And it's cool to see, girls in big frilly dresses also just, punching the shit out of bad guys. It's charming that it's, their fighting is all fisticuffs and stuff instead of just, wand-waving sort of magic.
Uh-huh.
And there's at least one section where they're all doing undercover work, and so them and the magical animals that hang out with them are all wearing shades, trying to act inconspicuous. And I can appreciate dumb espionage goofs like that.
Cool.
Then we have the worst anime of 2016 from QB.
All right.
You got Big Order. What else to say about Big Order? It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad, and the anime is worse somehow. Then we have PSO2, which, again, we've talked about. PSO2 is, the worst sort of cash grab ever made.
Yeah.
Just no personality to it at all. Then we have Magical Girl Raising Project, which won my awards because it's filth and garbage. Next up is Maho Shoujo Naria Girls, which was Studio Bouncy's Magical Girl thing.
Oh, right.
And not only did they pick some people who are really bad at improv, which is like their big thing.
Yeah.
It also is like constantly breaking more so than usual, like their motion capture stuff.
Oh, man.
And then halfway through it takes a really dark turn for this weird scripted narrative about how maybe magical girls are also bad. And then there's something about like a stillbirth, and then there's a Madoka send-off where they just like stop the entire thing from existing. Like it breaks down really fast in a fascinating but terrible way of just like what happened. Whereas, you know, like Studio Bouncy just does a whole bunch of like goofy comedy garbage that they suddenly made this weird nonsense dark plot thing. It's just
was it still improv?
No, that part was scripted.
Okay.
Some of it was like scripted just enough to be considered like a story.
Okay.
And they've done that with some of the other ones too, but like in a better way. Like what is it? It's called like Tsurake or something.
I don't know.
Is one where it's like a slice of life thing where the entire first bit is scripted, and then afterwards it's just the voice actors having voice actor conversations.
Oh, jeez. Because I think that would be really funny if it was like everyone was just trying to do their silly improv thing, but that was one person like trying to insert this really dark story into it.
Oh, that would have been really
and the
good.
rest just has to go along with it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's yes and is the rule of improv, so. Then the last one on here is one of the reboots of this year. I believe it's Toei, which is Nurse Witch Komugi-chan R.
I don't know if that's Toei.
That's someone. It's definitely a reboot of like a parody series.
I want to say that's Ilka? ILCA?
Who did Yatterman? Because it's those people. Tatsunoko.
Oh, okay. Oh, is this them?
It's a Tatsunoko thing. That was a parody.
Oh.
Yeah. And the note here is, Komugi did not need a reboot after over a decade, and it got total script rewrites at least twice to the point where none of the jokes are recognizable as humor, and also it's been changed into an idol reboot to cash in on that popularity.
Oh my god.
Komugi is a hot, soulless mess of a former passion project to contrast with plenty of the shows this season like Flip Floppers, JoJo's, Luluko, etc.
Man, maybe that Samurai Pizza Cats reboot that I've always been hoping for wouldn't be such a good thing after all.
Maybe. Especially since so much of that is just because they, like, just dubbed it like garbage.
Right.
So, you know, who knows if that would be any good anymore. Because I feel like those, like, joke dubs lose a lot of charm, especially as you get older. It's, like, in particular, I think people always talk about, oh, Ghost Stories is so funny. But going back to it, it's also, like, really gross. And, like, edgy. It makes a lot of, like, really off-color jokes.
Jeez.
In a way that, going back to it, is like, oh, there are some funny gags, but also is, like, really uncomfortable in a lot of ways. So, I don't know. Maybe it's better to let those sort of things lie. Who knows?
Maybe.
Then on here we have Cutest Animal, which he gives to Uexcule from Flip Flappers.
Right.
Who is both a pudding rabbit and a buff-armed, manly flubber bunny.
Yes. Because
you'll remember from episode 2, he became buff and cool.
No, I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good animal. Were there any other real, like, big animal mascots?
Oh, there was the one from Amanchu. The awful butt
you're right,
cat.
there was that butt cat.
Yeah.
There was that butt cat. I don't know. That one I don't know if I could say is cutest animal.
No, I wouldn't call that cutest animal. There's the cat from She and Her Cat.
Oh, that's a good cat.
That's a really good one.
But that's basically just a real cat.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is okay, you know? A cat's good.
Was there a season of Is the Order a Rabbit this year?
Was there a second season this year? No, I think that was last year.
That may have been last year. But that has the weird fluffy bunny thing as well. That's pretty cute.
Okay. I think those are all the main animal mascots. I certainly can't think of any others.
Yeah, me neither.
So we got 2 cats and a rabbit, and you know, that's good enough.
That's pretty good.
TQ doesn't have a mascot thing, does it? It doesn't.
No. Wasn't there a chubby dog in Yuri on Ice? Or am I just...
Oh, yeah, there was that dog. There was that dog. So there's a dog. That was a pretty alright dog. It was fluffy.
Yeah, that was an okay dog. There's the rat in JoJo's.
Oh yeah, everyone loves that rat in JoJo's. What a cutie.
What a great rat.
Oh, I love him, and when he like spits acid at people, it's my favorite.
Me too.
Of all my favorite things about rats, spitting acid is my favorite. There were the cats from Flying Witch. Those were pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Some of them knew magic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then, Ace Attorney happened, so we got that parrot. That was a good parrot.
Oh yeah. I think UX Cool is like their appearance is really funny to me because they look like those gray, like those alien balloons that are supposed to look like grays, but when they're partially deflated.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but there's a charmingness to that because it kind of like squishes and morphs in a lot of fun ways.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice that it never plays into the fact that rabbit's fucking weird. It's just like, oh, this is a world where green rabbits exist.
That's just the way rabbits are, man.
Yeah, and you know what? That's okay. I'm okay with that rabbit.
Me too.
Oh, and Banana there's this year.
Oh, of course.
Everyone loves Banana. He's a banana cat. Alright, and then we have one more list from here. From Quark. And Quark says, "Hi, hello. Some nerd called QB told me to send you a list of anime, so here it is. Number 5, Yuri on Ice. Number 4, that one with the puppet where the dude cuts his own head off and it shoots up and is grabbed by the weird bird thing, which I think he's talking about Thunderbolt Fantasy?
Yes.
That must be Thunderbolt Fantasy.
That
it's
is
got
the
puppets.
one cool thing that happened in that show.
I mean, hey, you know, it's gotta have something.
Yeah.
Number 3, Splatoon, which, I don't know if that's an anime, but
right.
I'll accept it.
First of all,
Splatoon's
that's not an anime. Second of all, that didn't come out in 2016.
But it's good.
It is, so it still gets to be on the list. That's alright.
Yeah, we'll accept it. We're not gonna disqualify your list from existing.
We'll fudge the rules a little bit.
Then number 2, I feel like this is a personal attack against QB. We have Maho Shoujo Narya Girls. And then finally, at the top of the list, we have I think it's a Pretty Rhythm Pre-Para spin-off called King of Prism? Yeah, it's a Pretty Rhythm thing. It's a movie. It's not a TV thing.
Okay.
But it is like as far as I understand, it is like the logical extreme that you can take for idol boys who are also magical and like fighting evil.
Right.
Like it takes that and just like runs with it and cranks it up to 11 in terms of just like absurdity. Just for a whole like 2 hours, it's just like nonsense straight through.
That sounds like fun.
Which I can appreciate, yeah. You just take something and just like kind of go nuts with it. That sounds like you could do a good thing with it.
Yeah.
So that's all the ones from our lovely fans, and we thank you all for your contributions to this show that we ended up having to do. Whoops. And then we have some other stuff. We have some just general, like, from the internet best ofs. Sort of done the same way as ours, where they pick through all the anime. So, if we look at, like, we'll do some best and worsts from, like, these. So, for Anime News Network, of course, number 1 is Yuri on Ice.
Right.
Followed by ReZero. A pretty big divide on there, about 2,000 votes separating them.
Oh my god. See, there you go.
Yeah. Then followed by another 1,000, we have Mob Psycho 100 underneath.
Alright.
Then, pretty quickly after, we have My Hero Academia, which in some ways I'm surprised to see so high. Again,
Yeah.
I feel like not a lot of discussion happened around it, but...
Yeah, it's one of those shows that feels like it just kind of came and went. And people liked it, but that's the extent of it.
And then Erased is up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and like then even after that, with like the next 5, we have like Haikyuu Season 3. We do have Diamond is Unbreakable, which makes sense. Konosuba, which seems like kind of a surprise hit. Like, I don't think anyone cared about it until it aired, and then suddenly we're people like, oh, this is really funny.
I keep forgetting that was this year.
And then Assassination Classroom Season 2, which I forgot was this year because I stopped paying attention to it. But that did end the story. And then it counted both seasons of Bungo Stray Dogs, and that's the number 10.
Alright.
Which I definitely heard more people talking about Bungo Stray Dogs than anything.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's a Soul Eater. and we're in High School Host Club director, so that alone.
Oh, is it?
Yes, okay. That gets butts in the seats.
Plus, it's got boys.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean a lot of shows do. So I don't know if that was really a distinguishing factor.
It's got the boys people liked.
Okay, there you go.
Then a lot of these have just like very similar votes, but some of the lower ones on here from this year, we have Hitori Noshida, the Outcast.
Oh my god.
Which I don't think anyone's too surprised about, like from what I've heard about the show.
Yeah. Oh, that's on the lower end.
Yeah, this is all low now.
Okay.
We have basically all the shorts because this is a best of and no one's going to vote for them, so continuing up. We have Puzzles and Dragons,
wow.
Which, yeah, I could get why people didn't vote that particularly high. Like, from what I understand, it's very, it's a very blah sort of children's show based on a game. Like, it integrates the game in weird ways, but, like, that doesn't make it good.
It takes a lot of mental strain for me to keep Puzzles and Dragons and the Monster Hunter anime separate. Like, trying to remember which is which.
Because you feel like they're super similar, or?
Just the idea, like the kidifying, fairly like serious, gritty, like dragon series. Like they're not too dark or anything, but they definitely have a mature-ish style to them. And then both of those series kind of took a look at that, and we're like, all right, we're gonna make something a little more Bandai out of this.
Mm-hmm. Also on the bottom, near the bottom of the list is Qualidia Code, which, as it turns out, is also by Wataru Watari, the Snafu and Girlish Number author.
Oh.
But is like this weird Attack on Titan-y sort of like action thing, I think.
Okay.
And like I didn't hear like anything about it, and just like in learning about like Girlish Number being by him, I also learned that this was, and I meant to go back to it at some point because I'm like, that seems so weird that he'd write like an action thing. He seems like a lot more suited to sort of the slice of life, like relationship sort of stuff.
Right.
So I don't know how something like that would turn out.
That's weird. That guy has a really a knack for not selling his series just based on their premise alone.
Yeah, it's impressive. Just like how much. Like, Snafu was like, I had to wait for people to tell me it was really good. And then Girlish Number is like, oh, whatever. Oh, wait, it's by that guy? And then with Qualidia Code, it's like, oh, wait, it's by that guy? That sounds, like, weird.
Yeah.
Also near the bottom, we have Pandora and the Crimson Shell, Ghost Urn, which is the Ghost in the Shell guy's other series.
Was that even a TV anime?
That was.
That's weird. I thought that was, like, borderline a porn thing.
It had a lot of fan service in it, yes.
Okay.
So it turns out that that's the Ghost in the Shell guy's thing?
Oh yeah. Have you never seen the Ghost in the Shell manga?
No.
There's like some stone cold fucking in that series.
Oh.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently that guy is also like a porn artist of some kind.
Yeah, he is really horny.
Like, it's weird that like Ghost in the Shell apparently is like the one outlier on his otherwise like bad track record.
Yeah, I don't know. Appleseed's pretty good too, I think.
Oh, is Appleseed by that guy?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Also on the bottom of the list, of course, we have Battery here.
Oh.
But you know, at some point, it's like they're not really voting for the worst. It's just the bottom of a best poll, which I guess is like a little different. But it's just kind of sad seeing like, oh, you know, some of these things didn't get enough recognition, and then it's like, oh, more people thought Super Lovers was a better anime this year than Joker Game. That's really depressing.
Is this people just put in a vote for what they think their favorite anime was, or did they get a list and they had to put them in order?
It was you voted for 5 things to get a vote in this.
Okay.
For Anime News Network.
All right, that's what I figured.
Yeah, everyone got 5 votes to distribute as they thought necessary.
Okay. All right, I should have known because I forgot there were points and stuff involved.
Yeah.
So that's yeah, okay.
Then we have one from what I understand, like one of the biggest like WordPress sort of blogs of anime. Like it's been around for, I don't know, 15 something years, called Random Curiosity.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Okay, and so their top is ReZero.
Okay.
Yuri, Mob Psycho, Erased, and My Hero Academia, which is more or less the exact same as the other one, which is, I think, surprising in a lot of ways.
But this is like an individual's list, right? Or is this also a poll?
This is also a poll. I think they only got 1 vote each, though.
All right.
But yeah, it's also a poll thing being done. And then even, then the next 5 are really where it changes, because there's Konosuba there, and Haikyuu, but then we have Sound Euphonium on there, which I'm surprised wasn't higher on other lists, honestly. Like, I feel like I heard a lot about Sound Euphonium too.
I don't know about that.
In comparison to some of the shows that made it higher, sure.
Okay.
Like, I feel like I heard a lot more about Sound Euphonium than, like, My Hero Academia.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
I guess it's weird to know because that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
The only real thing I remember hearing people talk about My Hero Academia is the people who were mad at that first episode for having that line from Miss Mountain where she's like, nice to meet your ass acquaintance or whatever.
Right.
Because, and like, man, those guys just don't get it. That's a good line.
I agree.
Then followed by Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju. And Grimgar, which I think is surprising because I feel like, especially like near the halfway point, no one had anything good to say about Grimgar.
Yeah, the appreciation for that show definitely fell off at some point.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, it looks really good, and it has like it's a more realistic sort of isekai story, and people put a lot more into that. But it's still one of those things that I just like. At some point, people were like, I don't know if this is any good anymore. This writing kind of sucks.
Yeah, that is the vibe that I got from it.
And it gets real booby, and like, so I'm surprised to see it as high as it got, you know?
Yeah.
Quick tangent. This reminded me that they've released a list of all the light novels being released for this month and February in Japan.
Okay.
And first of all, it has the longest light novel title in light novel history in it.
All right.
Which is Sew It Up, Take It Off, Change. My girlfriend failed her high school debut and became a hikikomori, so I decided to coordinate her youth fashion.
Oh, that is shorter than I was expecting.
Which sits at a hot 65 characters.
Yeah.
Including punctuation for that. And then the one that caught my eye as like, oh, you know, this may not actually be good, but this is one of those things that like catches my eye as, oh, this is a fun goof. It's called Do You Like Your Mom? Her normal attack is 2 attacks at full power.
What?
And it's an isekai story where a dude got taken to a fancy world, but so did his mom, and his mom is 100% cooler than him. And so, like, his mom is, like, escorting him on quests and stuff and, like, chaperoning him.
I love that. Unlike a lot of other stuff that gets popular, people who write isekai have realized that they can't just do it straightforward anymore. Like, every isekai story needs to have its weird gimmick.
Right.
That's at least something I could appreciate.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a very charming gimmick.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my mom's the cool one in this fantasy world.
I mean, that's already what it's like in the real world for me. I don't need to read a book to live that experience.
But yeah, that. I was reminded of that just thinking of isekai again. Oh, what a genre that exists.
Isekais get stories about people getting transported from the real world to a fantasy realm, by the way.
Oh yeah, I guess that is a term that I feel like is a lot less common than a lot of the other anime terms we may use here.
Like, I know it exists, but I would never use it if it weren't for the fact that I hear you use it.
Yeah, I feel like I just learned that was like a genre term recently, and so I'm like, oh, I should slot this into my vocabulary, because I'm cool.
I learned it a lot, and then I never actually use it.
Mm-hmm. Then we have a top 5 from Nico Nico. You know, that Japanese YouTube.
Yes. Which
sits at Diamond is Unbreakable at number 1, which, you know, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's sort of a surprise how high it is. Then we have ReZero, of course. Konosuba, Yuri on Ice, and Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Oh.
So they accept things that haven't finished yet.
Is that still not over?
It's in its 2nd season right now.
Okay.
It's got a lot of episodes. I'm actually kind of surprised. I feel like a lot of the more recent ones have been really short, one and done.
Yeah.
Like, certainly, like, what was the one before this? Like, G and Reconquista or whatever was only 13 episodes. But this one's going 2 seasons. I think each of them are at least 26 episodes.
Right. I guess they found something that works.
Yeah, and they have Mari Okada on it, which I think is maybe some of the things that make it more interesting. Mari Okada being, like, the writer of, like, Anohana and stuff.
Right.
And Mayoiga. But, the Mari Okada being more interested in, like, character relationships might make this a more, like, a little more different as a Gundam series.
Yeah, that could be.
It's not quite as focused on sick robots, though it has plenty of sick robots.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta sell those figures.
Yeah. A surprising thing is that New York Times did its like best of TV 2016 list and included My Hero Academia on it.
Oh right, that was on Toonami at some point.
Yeah, it hit like number 7 on New York Times list of best TV.
Wow.
Which I think is kind of fascinating because anime definitely doesn't like get a mainstream, mainstream cred in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And I think it aired on like some kind of like 11 p.m. death slot too. So
yeah, I mean they really picked up on something of it. They actually have a little bit about it from the New York Times, which is in the self-aware category of Japanese anime. This shrewdly written and dynamically drawn series posits a world in which 80% of humanity has developed some sort of special powers. Not all of them super, and not all used for good. But it focuses on a fanboy who obsessively follows the newly costumed heroes while having no abilities of his own. A perfect stand-in for the anime and manga audience. Which in some ways sounds like a sick-ass burn. Like, you could read that as, like, really, like, digging into anime fans.
Yeah, that is.
But I don't think it quite comes from that angle.
No. No, I don't think that's what they meant. But that is definitely how it feels at first, yeah. I had to think about it before I realized, okay, that's not as enormous of a drag as it sounds.
Yeah, that's such a way to end it. It's like, I have to rethink whether or not this is what I expected.
God bless.
Yeah. And then one more top 10 we have here is from anime fans through a software company named Jig, and it's got like 27,000 votes. So this is a pretty broad one compared to a lot of the other ones.
Yeah.
Number 1, of course, is Osamatsu-san, which I'm surprised I didn't see more of on this list because it ended this year.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised it didn't get the same recognition out there, but it was fucking huge. Particularly in Japan, I feel like every Blu-ray of it broke another record in the sales in some way.
Yeah, weird that it wasn't on like the Nico Nico list at all, basically. Or like not in any top spot.
Yeah, because I know that it hit all kinds of like records for just selling out Blu-rays in release order. Like it had a really good run.
Yeah. While
it was going, and I'm surprised it didn't factor in more, but that might just be because it's so old, or those ones in particular don't count series that are, like that start in another year. Who knows?
That could be.
Yeah. Then followed by ReZero, Yuri. Bungo Stray Dogs is a surprise on here, I think, for how high it is. I didn't realize that was as popular as it was.
Yeah, me neither.
Then also Token Ranbu Hanamaru, the Sword Boys one that they did.
Yes. Again,
surprised, kind of Dogakobo did it, and it just kind of came and went for us. Like, no one really talked about it or had much to say about it.
It's one of the, like, major gacha games in Japan, right?
Yeah, but I assume that franchise pulled in all the people is what I was going to get to say.
Right.
Is like, I'm sure the fans of the series really push that up because it is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Then we have Haikyuu. I assume it just combines seasons, which is fair.
Mm-hmm.
Followed by, then this one's weird, because all idol stuff from 7 to 10. Sukiura, the animation, is a surprise.
Okay.
Because that one's just kind of out of nowhere. Uda no Prince-sama Season 4, which, sure, it's more Uda-pre, people love that.
Yeah.
Then we also have B Project, which is another just, like, same sort of, like, one lady manages a bunch of idols thing.
Right.
I'm just surprised they all three ended up in a row this way.
Yeah, well, it is a little bit.
And then number 10, it hits Love Live Sunshine.
Okay.
Which also, I'm kind of surprised didn't get a lot more, because it has to have, like, it sold it sold super well over its lifetime, so I'm surprised more people didn't go, it's my favorite.
Maybe it's just one of those things that people only care about while it's going on, and then once it's over, it's over.
Yeah, maybe. Or when they consider, like, oh, I like it I don't like it maybe for the anime, but I like it more for the, like, extended stuff, like the concerts and all that.
Yeah.
That could be.
Yes. That would make a lot of sense.
And then, last thing I wanted to do was do some sales talk with you.
Oh yeah, that's what I've been waiting for.
Speaking of Blu-ray sales, we're gonna have a fun game where we try to figure out what the best-selling stuff... Well, you figure out what the best-selling Blu-rays were for this year. So here we have the top-selling animation Blu-ray discs for 2016 in Japan.
Right.
And this is according to Oricon, which is a Japanese site that just keeps track of all this sort of stuff.
Okay.
So, number 1 on this list is not an anime.
Okay.
Can you figure out which movie it is that sold the best in Blu-rays in Japan?
So, by extension, then that means it's like a Western thing?
It is a Western movie.
Okay. Is it a 2016 Western movie?
All of these, I believe, are 2016 movies. At least for release.
Right. Is it Zootopia?
Yes, you got it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, Zootopia did gangbusters. Okay, so this is and that beats out even the Love Live School Idol movie, which is number 2 by a hot 70,000 discs.
Oh wow.
Which I think is a big margin. Well,
I mean, okay, it is surprising that a movie beats out another movie, but I think it does make sense for a movie to beat out a series.
Well, this is the movie of Love Live.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, that's surprising, but it's not surprising for a movie to be at the top, is what I mean.
Oh, I see. To have a standalone thing.
Yeah.
Sticking there. Now, so in between the rest of this, like in the top 15, there are 4 more Western series, and I wonder if you can figure them out. Which ones sold best?
Western series?
Western movies. They are all movies.
Okay. Finding Dory.
That is number 2 as far as Western sales.
Okay. Secret Life of Pets?
No.
Damn. The Good Dinosaur?
That is number 4, yes.
Okay. Let's see, what else?
Was The Good Dinosaur any good? I feel like I never heard about it after it got announced.
It was pretty whatever, from what I hear. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Let's see, what were the Disney... I know they put out Moana this year, but I'm gonna guess that's not on there. But what was the other movie they put out? Oh, that was Zootopia, right. Damn. Ice Age 6 or whatever it is.
No, please.
Okay, well, you never know. Maybe Japan really loves Ray Romano.
Maybe.
I'm out
we got
of
one
ideas.
Pixar and one DreamWorks left.
Oh, is it Minions?
Minions is on here as number 3.
Oh God.
And then the last one's a Pixar one.
A Pixar one? Did they do 3 movies this year?
It technically the Blu-ray released at the end of last year.
Okay, so then that would have to be... Oh, I can't even remember what order the Pixar movies come out in. Inside Out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And like looking through this is pretty interesting because this does like individual discs.
Yes.
So on this like top 50, you do see every Osamatsu disc showing up on here.
Right.
And I think it's basically in order. It's first one, second one, third one, and they're all the limited edition first pressings. And I think that's just like, oh, okay, sure.
I'm surprised that Japan latches onto the Minions at all. Because Japan is so good at making their own, like, nice, charming, cutesy mascots that I'm surprised they're willing to take America's like garbage trash mascots.
I think what's even funnier about it is, if you look at the top-selling DVDs, the top 5 Western animations, all different versions of Despicable Me and Minions.
Right, you told me about that.
Yeah, it hits Despicable Me 1 and 2, it hits Minions, it hits box sets, it also hit, like, a short series or something, like some garbage side disc.
Right.
And they're all the top 5 Western animation DVDs. It's incredible.
More like Despicable Nippon. Make that the title of this one.
Okay, I'll do it.
That'll go over.
And it's surprising how fast it's surprising how fast these like drop off. Like Girls in Panzer, the film is like number 3 at 200,000 discs. Then Finding Dory is right next with 95,000 discs.
Jeez.
Like there's such a huge drop off, and then it's kind of a pretty basic drop off after that, but it's still like wow. It's really surprising.
It's always weird to me how little even like successful, or at least like passively successful, anime are in home video release.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a big medium, and they're, I mean, relative to a lot of other consumer media, anime is pretty cheap to produce, but it's still like a big undertaking. It's surprised with just how little stuff they managed to razor the margins, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like it feels like it has to be so much out of like merchandising and stuff, because people will buy figurines out the ass.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm surprised, the highest selling Blu-ray for a series Blu-ray is like 83,000.
Right.
That seems like such a small amount of people. Whereas I feel like with Western movies, they do print these things expecting, hundreds of thousands at least to buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a different medium thing over there, and it seems weird.
Yeah. And the Blu-rays are so expensive too. So like a lot of people just get priced out. The economics of like trying to make anime feasible is so weird to me.
Mm-hmm. Then I do have one that's just like by series, like best-selling kind of thing. And this is by average number of volumes. So some of this is skewed because it just came out. I'm thinking specifically of 2 series on here that might have a little bit of a skew because, they haven't finished their run yet.
Right.
Because number 1, we have Yuri on Ice because it sold 1 volume so far. But over DVDs and Blu-rays has sold 62,000 discs.
Okay.
That's pretty big. Let's, not to say that that's not a big surprise, but like, with the upcoming other like 5, that might change whether or not it's on the top of this list.
Yeah.
Because right underneath that is one that, sold a whole bunch separately, which is like Love Live Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
We have one of the Monogataris that I don't think I heard of, which is Koyomi Monogatari? Koyomi Monogatari?
I don't remember that either.
Was that a movie?
That might have been a movie, because I don't remember any Monogatari series coming out this year at all. Oh no, there was one in winter, I think. Maybe.
Wait, it did air? Did it just not come over here?
That would be weird.
Weird.
Yeah, because Crunchyroll always has Monogatari.
Yeah, how would I have missed Koyomi Monogatari? Like, that's... Anyways. Then we have Token Ranbu. We have Haikyuu, which might be skewed. I'm not sure if it finished releasing yet. But, like, each of these, as it goes down, loses, like, 10,000 average copies.
God.
Up until Haikyuu, at which point it's, like, a pretty close one for Konosuba Drifters.
Oh, wow.
That seems weird.
Yeah, Drifters doesn't really seem like the kind of thing the Japanese audience will be into.
Also, it's only 1 volume? Like, only 1 volume seems weird. I don't know if that's that preview thing that they released. Like, maybe 11,000 people bought that preview disc? That was, like, the first 2 episodes before it got announced? Because I think that came with one of the manga volumes.
Yeah.
So that might not be the TV series, but that's still a big sale. I didn't think Drifters was that big.
Yeah.
Because I also didn't feel like Hellsing was that big, but, Then there's B Project, ReZero, Macross Delta, which I think is surprising, but I didn't hear anything on the Japanese side about how that was accepted.
Yeah.
And then Joker Game, which I'm pretty surprised by it being so high. Because again, on the Western side, I feel like I just heard a lot of opinions on it.
Yeah. I'm surprised ReZero is that low, relatively speaking, at least.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think
Like it's
it would
not
be
in the top 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. That does seem weird that for all the, like, hubbub it got and how many, like, there was that Crunchyroll thing that showed how many people watched the first episode compared to every other first episode, and ReZero was, like, globally such a hit. I'm surprised Japan didn't latch onto that a bit more.
Yeah.
And now we're going to do the worst sales.
Okay.
These are the absolute worst Blu-ray sales by series of 2016.
I'm really curious. Tell me about it.
There are a number of them that were so bad that they didn't even, like, register. And to make sure you understand, there is one that hit the charts with 86 copies.
What show is that?
That was that Fundanshi show.
The what?
That Fundanshi show, the one about the guy who reads yaoi.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
And then right above that, exactly 100, we have, like, the Nurse Witch Kamugi-chan R. So they have to have done worse than that to show up on this list, such that over, 6 discs or whatever, they did not sell enough to chart even once.
Man.
And 2 of the ones on this list are ones that you should be extremely familiar with.
Okay.
And I want to see if you can figure out which 2 shows that you watched. You watched both these shows that did not do well.
Okay. 91 Days.
No, that was actually, that's actually, like, in the middle, I thought.
Okay.
It did pretty alright.
That's good. AotY?
No, AotY's not on this list.
Okay.
I guess that means that they might not have sold, but I don't even know if they've released anything yet, so.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's see, what else could it be? Days?
No.
Okay.
You're getting closer because you're picking all the shows you disliked.
Okay. Shows I dislike. I assume it's not Berserk, right?
Berserk doesn't even show up on this list, buddy.
Oh. Well,
so presumably it sold nothing.
Oh, I'm not even sure if the first Blu-rays for that are out, actually. But I think
they definitely are, because they showed those, like, oh, here's a big surprise on the Blu-ray differences.
Right, but I don't know if that also meant that they were out already. I just figured that meant that they were coming.
Let me see. Oh yeah, at some point the Berserk. Nope, that's the 1997 version.
Yeah,
is getting a Blu-ray release. As of 12 days ago from this recording.
Okay, is it Princess Stride?
No, Prince of Stride actually sold fairly well. In comparison to a lot of other series.
Okay.
There's one more you're missing that in particular I'm like, oh, you would have absolutely guessed that this did like hot garbage.
Okay. Man, I'm racking my brain thinking about what anime I watched that I didn't like. Big Order?
No.
Okay.
Though that didn't sell well either.
Oh. I'm running out of ideas. I think you're gonna have to just tell me.
That's right, it's Maiga.
Oh, good.
Maiga did like trash. No, here's a Blu-ray box set for Berserk. It released. Okay. So man, I don't know.
Well, damn.
Goddamn. Sorry, Berserk. You were bad. Some other ones I think are kind of a surprise is, Didn't You Know I'm Sakamoto sold really poorly?
Oh.
Which I feel like that was a comedy that a lot of more people were into.
Yeah.
It's kind of surprising to see how low it went. Keijo sold, pretty abysmally.
That is really surprising. Is Keijo, like, too embarrassing even for, like, super nerds to buy? Is that what it is?
Maybe. That might be it. Maybe it's a little too forward about itself.
Maybe. Or maybe it doesn't take itself seriously enough. Maybe it's too jokey for people to appreciate.
Mm-hmm. Phantom World was not a particularly good sales year for it.
Oh, that's weird.
Seems like, yeah, it is KyoAni's worst selling anime of all time.
Oh, wow.
With an average about 2,000 copies per volume.
Jeez. I mean, it's not too surprising, I guess. Like, that show doesn't stand out from the crowd in any way. Like, it's an easy one to forget, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But the same, I think the same goes for, like, Chunibyo and Amagi Brilliant Park, so I don't know.
Those clearly sold well enough.
Yeah.
And it's depressing sometimes how low these numbers are. Like, Madhouse's Alderman on the Sky or whatever.
Right.
Is at, like, less than 300 copies per.
Whew.
And that's, like, just super rough.
Yeah, that is rough.
And it's weird thinking, I wonder how easy it is to bounce back from, like, really abysmal sales like that. Do you still expect people to buy, like, extra material, like the really hardcore fans, or...
Well, I think for something like Alderman of the Sky, it probably doesn't matter, because I assume they were commissioned to make that.
Right, that was a license sort of thing.
Yeah. So then the onus is on someone else to recoup that loss.
Yeah.
But like Phantom World, something like that, that's gotta be like a pretty heavy blow to a studio.
Yeah, because KyoAni picks their series out, like, you know, they handpick it.
Yeah.
So it's gotta be it, you know, but they also don't do as many shows and still are do fine because at least one thing they do every year seems to be like a significant hit.
Yeah. What are the sales numbers on Sound Euphonium 2?
Right now, it's pretty high on the list. It's at number 15 in terms of yearly average sales.
Oh, that's not. Yeah.
It sold about 7,500 copies per disc, you know.
That's okay.
And given how small that staff is, you know, they can pay them, you know, they could probably pay all those off pretty easy.
Well, it was a small staff, but they probably worked on it over a longer period of time. So
yeah, and all their staff is salaried, so.
Yeah, that's true.
But, you know, I think they're constantly raking in dollars from, like, other stuff too. Like they did a Silent Voice this year.
Right.
And they did all kinds of other I'm sure they did all kinds of merchandising stuff, you know.
Yeah.
They have their light novels that they sell, and I assume that those are doing just fine.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's kind of all I had prepared for this.
Okay.
One nice thing I do want to point out is that Planetarian sold pretty well.
Cool.
Which, you know, I'm sad that it didn't get more recognition in other places, but it did good. 5,500, sorry. 5,500 copies. Not too bad for like a net animation thing.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah.
You know what I'd love to know about?
What?
Is the best-selling anime in North America. Like the best-selling Blu-rays in North America, but those numbers don't get released. Yeah,
I don't think anyone has those numbers at all. Like, Funny certainly isn't going to release numbers for that.
Yeah, and Sentai won't, and Aniplex won't, so...
Like, the only place I think that would keep anything like that might be Right Stuff.
Yeah.
And they're just like a secondary sales thing, so I don't even know how good those numbers would be.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm always super curious to see, like, what sells best for them, but also... like what the numbers even are. Like, what do you expect an anime to sell in America to begin with?
Yeah, because they're always priced pretty highly because it, you know, it's such a process to get it over here, and it's a more or less smaller audience.
Yeah, well, I think $60 is pretty normal for a season of a TV show, and even then, it's really easy to get it below RRP.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, the one nice thing about in the North America and stuff is that they release it all in a collection, typically on one Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Because they don't do as much of the, like, merchandising, special edition sort of stuff.
And thank God for that.
Yeah, it would be impossible I feel like in some way it'd be, like, impossible to be into anime at those sorts of prices here in North America. It'd certainly be a lot harder.
Yeah. See, because what I wonder about is that obviously there's anime that gets really popular in America, like, say, ReZero, Konosuba, but I wonder if the kind of audience that a show like that reaches in America would also be interested in buying the Blu-ray, whereas something like maybe, I don't know, maybe Death Parade isn't a good example, but if you look at something like that, I think that has a smaller audience probably, but I think the people that Death Parade reaches is probably more inclined to also buy a home release, you know, try to support the medium a little bit. So I'm curious how those numbers roll out. If the general Western anime audience also buys Blu-rays, or if it's really just the hardcore people who dive deeper for their shows. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'd love to know.
There is a ranking for New York Times bestsellers of 2016.
Okay.
Only by like week, unfortunately. Like I don't think that there's like a cumulative one. But you can sort of see trends in and out there.
Okay.
Like for the entire month of December, it was just the Legend of Zelda Legendary Edition, which is just, I think, the omnibus for that manga.
Yeah.
But you see a lot this year of One Punch Man popping up. You see a lot of Tokyo Ghoul this year.
The Tokyo Ghoul manga is huge, and that's a little weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know it's popular, but it's like at the top everywhere I look, and that's surprising.
Yeah, the tops for the most of this are One Punch Man and Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah.
Like something that was to pop up occasionally, like Monster Musume. And stuff like that. And like when Goodnight Pun Pun popped out, that was popular for the week.
Oh, cool. That's nice.
Yeah, so, you know, I think in some of it, it's like a lot of people pick up first volumes to try them out. In a lot of these cases. But then you'll also see like an Akame ga Kill pop up, or an Attack on Titan. Or a Yotsuba and.
Okay.
You know, things like that. And then Orange pops up at some point. And I think that was just big for, I think, like its ending push, because it was printed in an omnibus to start, I believe. Or two omnibuses.
Yes.
So that makes it easier to buy in a lot of cases.
And that also came out right as the anime was airing.
Right. So people were probably like jumping in on that based on the strength of the start of that anime.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but the numbers for America just like really don't exist, and it's kind of sad. It would be cool to see a lot more of what becomes big.
Yeah. Anything
else you wanted to do before we wrap up this year? Before we close the book on the manga on 2016?
No, I can't really think of anything.
Okay. No more last thoughts on the year.
You know, when I have a sort of a vision, a stance on buying home releases of anime, because I do it very often, but the thing is, I only started doing it pretty recently, and there's so much old stuff out there that I want, that I've decided to limit myself to 3 for every year since I've started. So I guess 2015 is the start of that. So for 2015, I can only get 3. Right now I have 2. That's Death Parade and Sakuraku-san. And I'm deciding what my picks for 2016 are going to be.
Okay.
The third for 2015 is going to be One Punch Man once that finally gets released.
Oh, is that not out in English yet?
Not that I know, because the rights for that are with Viz, and they're always dragging their feet with home releases of anime. But yeah, I'm trying to think about what that's going to be for 2016, and I think Rakugo is there, obviously. Erased would be there if it wasn't for the fact that those rights are with Aniplex, and they are just too expensive for my blood.
Yeah, it's almost like $300 for the two things, because they don't, in a lot of cases, they don't sell, like, normal versions. It's all special editions. Yeah,
like their Erased thing comes with a soundtrack, and it comes with some sort of manga, maybe even original manga thing, which I just don't need.
I think it's a sequel thing.
Yeah.
And like other like art cards and stuff, and just stuff that you absolutely don't want. Like,
and if it's a show I really like, then maybe I'll splurge and get the super duper ultra double dip director's cut version. Like for Death Parade, where I got the one that looks like the elevator and it opens up in the middle, and that's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But for Erased, man, I just want to get it on Blu-ray. And I mean, I know like it makes me sound like a whiny baby, because in Japan they pay like $8 billion just to get all 13 episodes of a show. But that's just not how we roll around here, man.
And Aniplex is such a weird company, because they never like go back and release like normal versions of their stuff.
Yeah.
Like they only release standard versions of like Blu-rays and stuff for shows they know are going to sell like gangbusters, like an Asterisk War.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And so it's really sucks that you can't get Erased in any version that doesn't take $300. And I know they haven't released to like an Amazon or anything too, so you have to go through their site, and their site is bad.
Their site is really bad. Like, I don't even trust it. It seems like the kind of thing where your order can just get lost. Mm-hmm. And for a lot of shows, they don't even just sell full versions. Like, if you want Erased, you have to order 2 separate things.
Yeah.
And just a lot of things there that I don't like.
Yeah, and also I was wrong. Erased is only $200. I'm just really salty about Your Lie in April being like $300.
Because it's like 4 things, right?
No, it's 2, but they're twice as big because it's a 22 episode thing.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So you just make the price that much bigger, and it's just...
And they have all the Trigger shows on there too, and it's like, and some of the like better A1 stuff, man. But yeah, I'm thinking for 2016, it's probably going to be Rakugo is going to be on there, I think.
Okay, makes sense. That's one that you could... I think that's one that not only good that you can buy, but also to share.
Yeah. Then maybe Funiwo Amu, if it ever gets a home release, but I don't know, it's with Amazon, so...
Yeah, and Amazon just doesn't have a precedent for that, so...
Yeah, well, Kaminari ended up with Crunchyroll, so maybe they'll get that too eventually.
And maybe that'll just end up going to Funny now.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing is just complicated.
Yeah.
How I understand release now.
It's really weird. But then again, Kaminari is also a way hotter property than Funewamu, so maybe they'll just stay in limbo forever. Yeah. Maybe Tanaka-kun? I'm sure Sentai will pick that up at some point. Mm-hmm. And maybe Kaminari too. Like, I also want to buy a show that maybe I don't like that much, but that I appreciate the production of. So, like, that could be Mob Psycho 100 as well. Mm-hmm. I don't know, that's just something I'm thinking about. And right now, Shogun Roku is the only definite pick.
Like, I'm now trying to think of things that, like, oh, I would want this to buy so I could put it in a PS4 or whatever and watch it with other people. Because that's the only way I watch things a second time, is if I'm showing it to other people. Because I'm terrible.
Aren't we all terrible?
Yeah. Like, maybe Lupin? Lupin might be a good one, because I feel like that has a broader appeal.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of fun. Like, you could just pop in really any episode, minus the plot ones, and get, like, a good self-contained adventure.
That would be a good one, yeah.
My Hero Academia, maybe?
Oh... No, because with My Hero Academia, I'm gonna have to keep going forever as they keep making more seasons.
Oh, right, because they've got, like, that second season this year, and then that eats up a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, how do I even do this?
And it's tough, too, because there's a lot of old shows coming back with new Blu-rays that are the price of, like, completely new products. Like, Standalone Complex
Ghost
just
in the
came
Shell.
out.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of, too.
And it's the 2 seasons are separate, so that's $100 down the drain at some point. Mm-hmm. Man. It's an expensive hobby, but it could be more expensive.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Flying Witch might be a fun one. That's also an easy one to just, like, ease into.
That was lovely, too. I think movies I keep separate, just because those are usually end up cheaper. Like $20 is what the price they usually enter in.
Yeah, they're cheaper, and it's a lot easier to, like, just self-contain it. You don't have to worry about anything else popping up.
I definitely want to get Your Name whenever that finally gets a home video release in English.
Yeah, I think they announced that it was going to happen somewhere in, like, October?
Yeah.
I know the movie run is in April, and I'm pretty sure October was when Amazon UK put up its entry for when it was releasing.
Okay.
So there's some precedent. I'm not just, like, pulling it out of my butthole.
All right. And then there was that other movie. I remember very little about it, but it came out right after Your Name, and it was by some lower tier studio, like maybe Gemba or. You know what I mean?
And,
it was about,
and you're not think. Oh, In This Corner of the World.
Yes, that one.
Okay. I was going to assume that you were talking about A Silent Voice, but no, you're thinking of In This Corner of the World, which is Mappa.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
But that one, that one, I hear a lot of really good things about, just for exploration of kind of civilian life in Japan post World War II, from the eyes of someone kind of caught in the brunt of some of the civilian attacks.
Yeah.
So that might be really interesting to look at.
Yeah, a silent voice too, I suppose.
Yeah, at some point I want to pick up the Yu-Gi-Oh movie because I'm trash.
Yeah, me too. I'm also trash.
But I have to wait for the dub to come out. I will not hear them say Jinochi. I refuse.
I saw that one very brief clip that they put up of the dub, and when, like, at first it's like whatever, it's fun, but then what really pushed me over the edge to wanting to see it is that when Taya and Yugi meet up, they play the song from when Kaiba invades Pegasus's castle from season 1, like the Now I'm Back
cool
rock jam.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, that's the good stuff I like, and I want to see this.
There's something really charming about not cutting anything anymore, but still sticking to that old English soundtrack and the voice actors that, like, really makes that good.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way that I'm, like, charmed that they got everyone back for the Digimon movies.
Yeah.
But I like Yu-Gi-Oh! More.
Yeah, me too. Well, when I was hearing about the movie and hearing you talk about it, I was like, man, for Yu-Gi-Oh! I care a little, I guess. I don't really want to watch it. But then I saw the characters and this new clean art and the song, and I was like, oh, actually, I really want to watch it.
Oh, too deep in. Yeah, I get that. Because, I think that's how I felt first. Like, oh, it's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie. I might check it out. And it's like, yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh!
I love it.
Oh, what a good series. What a good franchise.
I agree.
Other movies, what else released this year that I'd consider, like, even though it's Aniplex, what is it? Anthem of the Heart, I thought was a pretty good, movie.
Right.
All things considered.
I still haven't seen it.
I don't know if it's, like, I don't know, I have an issue with its third act, but, like, other than that, it's still, like, a really good story. I like the animation a lot. That might be something to look into.
Yeah.
Man, looking at their prices, though, it's like, even the Persona 5 thing that they picked up is, like, absurdly expensive for what is a single episode of an anime. It's like $40.
Oh my god. And that's like, I think a 15-minute thing too. It's not even a full episode.
I don't even think it has any bonus stuff. Like, what the fuck?
See, compared that to the Final Fantasy 15 thing, I think they sell the movie Kingsglaive and the TV show together in one package for like $30. Like, that is
the limited edition, and it's like $35.
Yeah, like that's a worthwhile pickup, I think.
Yeah, I still need to pick that up, actually.
No.
But what else was this year in movies? Now I'm just thinking of that now.
There's Red Turtle.
There's Boy and the Beast.
Was that this year?
For release, yes.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah. There was all the Project Ito stuff minus the genocidal organ thing.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. Those movies I don't think are the best format for the story that they're clearly trying to tell.
I can see that. Yeah.
Like they're overstuffed, I think, is the
yeah.
is the
they definitely don't catch my interest at the very least.
Oh yeah, Boruto was this year.
Oh yeah. That was a good little thing.
Might want to check that out. Who knows?
And Naruto the Last as well, right?
Was Naruto the Last this year? That sounds right.
A little less interesting, but
some horrible part of my heart still really cares about Naruto.
Yeah. It's weird that it's the same for me because I never really cared about Naruto, but every time a new Naruto thing comes out, it's like I still care a little bit.
Yeah. The Orange Future movie is coming out soon, which I want to check that out.
Okay.
Because because it's, from what I understand, it's also like a retelling of the story via Sua's viewpoint.
Right.
Which might be an interesting, like, recontextualization of the story.
Yeah.
Since there is a pretty big conflict with him, too. It might be interesting to see.
Yeah, kind of like the Lion King 3.
You mean 1.5? Or wait.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Was there a Lion King 3? There is a Lion King 1.5. That's the one with Timon and Pumbaa as the main characters.
Okay, over here it's called Lion King 3, Hakuna Matata.
Okay. See, we got Lion King 1.5.
Alright.
But that is the one you're thinking of, right? The
yes,
one where Timon and Pumbaa are the main characters? Okay.
And it's a retelling of the first movie?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
yes.
That Planetarian movie's coming out, which is just a sequel to the TV series, and I'll probably buy that. I'm trash. I wonder who's going to pick that up for... Oh, no, Funimation must. It is a funny thing. Inevitably, they're going to release the Blu-rays for it.
Did Gantz O come out this year? Or is that next year?
Gantz was theater release this year, Blu-ray release next year.
Okay. Was there a Terraformers thing last year? Like a movie? I know there was a season.
TV series this year.
Yeah.
There was also the live-action movie this year, which apparently was really bad. What a surprise.
Yeah.
No, but like bad even to people who might like Terraformers.
It could have been worse. They could have gotten actual black people to play the monsters.
Right. I hear that the Attack on Titan movies are pretty bad too.
Yeah.
The live-action ones.
That is what I hear.
Now going back to the other, going back to that original idea of what Blu-rays would I pick up, a series-wise. Personally, I might buy Orange. I don't know. That's definitely an easier one to share.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked a lot of the emotions in it. Mob Psycho just to see if they add anything with the Blu-rays. Honestly, like, could they put more effects in?
The whole thing is glass painted.
The whole thing is just carved into stone immaculately. Do you think they'd do a 91 days release? They must.
Yeah, probably.
Because Funny's got that. They've got the dub going on.
Right. If Battery'd ever get a Blu-ray, I'd consider that, but that's in the same Amazon hell pit of probably no one cares.
I liked Sweetness and Lightning, but I don't know if as a series I'd be like, oh, I want to buy this because it's so... There is no, like, through line to it. Like, I liked it a lot, but it's just like, oh, this is like 12 episodes of anything. Like, there's no conclusive ending to it, which I would have preferred. Like, just some sense of like, oh, you know, something's ending, something's moving forward, but it didn't really have that. It's still good. What else? I don't know how you could clean up Haikyuu more, but I don't know. Those might be good Blu-rays to pick up.
Yeah. But then you run into the same thing where you're just going to keep buying Blu-rays every time a new season comes out. And I don't know about that.
Yeah. And hopefully it's... that's really awful to say. Hopefully it ends soon. But it seems like the sort of thing that is coming to a head.
Yeah.
Like, they can't... You could push it out a lot, but I feel like if the author... it gets the end of this tournament, they should probably like end it unless they're gonna play something with new students.
Boy, that's not the weekly Shonen Jump mentality that you're eschewing right now.
Yeah, but what if that person made a new thing and then it flopped horribly?
Yeah.
Like the Nisekoi person.
Yeah, damn.
And the Nisekoi person did Love Rush, right?
No.
Okay, that was not the same person?
No, because their previous thing was also gross.
The Nisekoi person did something else.
I think they're working on a one-shot crossover with something else right now. I think with Haikyuu, maybe?
I think they already did that, and it's releasing in English now.
Oh, okay.
Which, who knows? That might be interesting. What is that? March Comes In Like a Lion might be fun once it gets to the end, depending on how the ending goes.
Yeah.
That might be one to pick up.
Yeah.
Natsume Yujincho just for cleaning it up and maybe having the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, that would be good.
Would be good. Maybe Girlish Number. I want to support that guy.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because you already bought the Snafu one.
Yeah, about the Snafu ones. And boy, is it weird looking at them and just seeing the, like, right next to each other how different the art styles are.
Snafu has a different title on the Blu-ray, right?
No,
okay.
It has a different one on the light novels in English.
Oh, that's what it was.
Which used the very Englishy title, My Youth Romantic Comedy is Wrong, as expected.
Yeah, that is strange.
It's just not as good. Ugh.
No.
They messed up, they beefed it big time.
God. Does Voltron count when most of the animation is outsourced to Korea?
I mean, it's not anime, because the Legend of Korra guys did it, and that studio's American.
Okay.
Oh, we can count it. Is it getting a Blu-ray release? I guess Netflix would have to do something.
Netflix does do money. home releases for a lot of their stuff. Like, I know, oh my god, I'm blanking on all of their popular shows. I know House of Cards gets Blu-ray releases.
Okay.
They definitely do it for a lot of their stuff. I don't know if Voltron would be popular enough to warrant a Blu-ray release, but if they put it out...
It's popular enough to warrant a second season.
Well, that doesn't necessarily have to mean much, because there's also just the thing of having to keep the Netflix machine going, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of other Netflix stuff. I know at least that they're, like, for their anime acquisitions, they're, like, dubbing it in 8 different languages. So presumably there's going to be a release for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally get that. Even though I've only seen 1 episode, but it seems cool so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at all this Voltron stuff. The comic is available. There's a comic, first of all.
All right.
Oh, gross. There's a Funko Pop.
Oh, well, if you're grossed out by something having a Funko Pop, you're going to be grossed out by a lot of things in life, my friend.
Yeah, like life.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it doesn't look like they have a Blu-ray or anything for it yet. I'm kind of surprised. It's been like a year. Maybe they're waiting for season 2 to be over.
That could be.
Like maybe that was a deal, is like they do a whole thing first.
That's very possible. I don't think they started putting out House of Cards until it was over. I don't think they have Blu-rays out for Orange is the New Black yet either, even though that's like probably in their top 5 most popular shows.
Right.
So it might be that they don't put it out until it's over, yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, like, maybe that's just... I was going to say maybe that's just like English Amazon's thing, but no, they have weekly release stuff. So it's like, I think they just wait. Maybe they gauge interest at the end of everything. I don't know.
That could be.
Or maybe they just wait, or maybe they are just waiting for it to be over so they can just be like, boom, 6-season box set.
Do you think it's messed up that Netflix lists all the Polygon Pictures stuff and all their other anime acquisitions as Netflix original?
That is weird, because those things air on TV.
Yeah, but not over here.
Is Little Witch Academia called a Netflix original?
I don't think so, but Ajin definitely is, and Kuromo Kuro, or whatever it's called. Knights of Sidonia.
No, Ajin was definitely a TV anime as well, wasn't it?
I think so.
It's not like it's exclusively airing on Netflix.
I don't think it is, but maybe. I don't know.
So yeah, it does seem weird that they call it a Netflix original. Because that might be exclusively the American side that does that.
Yeah, like it's more like a Netflix exclusive, not really a Netflix original. Like that's kind of a weird way to put it.
It is a weird way, but I guess they're also they definitely cater to a very different audience, I think, than the kinds of people that are looking to watch anime. So maybe that's their way of like trying to draw people in with like, oh, we funded this thing and that's why it's on Netflix or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Could be.
I don't know if that's just like a face thing or not. Yeah, because Ajin definitely broadcasts on TV. I'm just looking this up as we go. So, and presumably all the other ones did too. So it does seem weird to be like a Netflix original when it's not just on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a quirk, I guess. That everything?
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us for this surprisingly long bonus episode. Where I was like, oh, we're just going to talk about other people's opinions, and it went way deeper than I thought it would. But you know, it's okay. It's okay. We had fun.
Yeah.
So, again, as we said in the last episode, you can join us next time to listen to us talk about Neon Genesis Evangelion. This will be my first time watching, despite being the biggest anime boy in the world. So, you know, it's interesting. A lot of what we're doing with single serving at this point is like playing catch up in a way. Like,
well, you're playing catch up. I'm playing mustard.
I'm playing catch up because I haven't watched a lot of like the seminal series, as it were. Mm-hmm. So I'm playing catch up now, and I think, Jordan, you talked about this before. You're like the exact opposite of me.
Yeah. I've watched all the really important stuff, and that's it.
Yeah, like until you did this podcast, you only watched anime when people told you it was good.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or something. So, you know, it's going to be interesting, because eventually we'll run out of things I need to watch, and then I'll just pull you in for, like, all the great 2007 shows. Like, we'll get to that when we get there. But no, so that's what we're doing with that. If you want to send in your own Neon Genesis Evangelion opinions, the email is chorpsawaysa@gmail.com. chorpsawaysa@gmail.com. As always, you can find us on Twitter. We are twitter.com/coco_disaster. You can follow us there. Sometimes we'll tweet out if we need emails from you for our shows. We'll tweet about our show stuff or any schedule differences. And, maybe sometimes we make a joke about some dumb merchandise we find. Like the multiple times we've talked about that suicide Chiaotzu backpack
right.
or whatever the fuck that Dragon Ball Z really wants to push.
And maybe sometimes we'll talk about our own bad merchandise ideas.
Right, we've done that before too.
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite dumb merchandise thing that I broke on there was the dead Yamcha figure that they made.
Yeah, that was something else.
Because the advertising for that was just like, oh, put dead Yamcha on your cat. Put dead Yamcha here. Good. God bless some of the stupid Dragon Ball Z merch you can buy. We're also online at cocodisaster.com, which has our latest episode always up on the page, as well as extra information about us. It shows you all the places you can find us and contact us. You can subscribe to us on SoundCloud, or iTunes, or Stitcher, or Google Music, or use the RSS feed from that website to put it into whatever podcast reader you use.
You can subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yep, we are on YouTube. If you, I don't know if I have a unique URL at this point, but it is for user Chorpsaway, CHORPSAWAY. We're on there. There's a link on our website, so that's handy. We've just started a new playlist for our 2017 shows. So if you were following the old one, make sure to check out this one so you keep up to date.
And give us a review on iTunes.
Yeah, give us a review on iTunes. We love hearing ways that... Or, if you have good things to say, put it on iTunes. If you have bad things to say, send us an email and don't tell it on iTunes. Because we want to improve, but don't, if it's something we can improve on, we'd like to hear about it before you go tell people that we have a bad podcast.
Yeah.
You can follow us both individually. I'm Chorpsaway on Twitter.
I'm Jordan Kai _
on Twitter.
Yes.
And, we both make very, very good tweets.
Yes.
That's one thing that they can say about us, is that our tweets are good.
Yeah, they always say it. Yeah, don't worry. Anytime I make a bad tweet, I delete it, so.
Yeah, and every time I make a bad tweet, I wallow in my regret.
And I threaten you with a gun emoji.
You did do that once.
Yeah.
You did threaten me with a gun emoji once.
I mean, it worked, Can't argue with results.
I did delete a tweet thanks to it. Oh. You're tough but fair. And so, this has been Coco Disaster. I've been Chorpsaway.
I've been Jordan.
See you guys next time.
Sweet dreams.